guys, so welcome to the second part of the tutorial. This time we'll be talking about the exercise from problem 1. So I suggest you guys to pause here to read the problem first. Okay, moving on. We have this game with two players, PT Oi Oi at offense on the left side and PT Universal as defense on the top side. PT Oi Oi have 5 strategy from A1 to A5, and PT Universal have 5 strategy from R1 to R5, and we have to answer 3 questions. So for the first question, if you are PT Oi Oi's manager, which strategy we will choose? So because we are on the left side, meaning we are on the offense side, we will use our maximum strategy. So for maximum strategy, we will first choose the minimum payoff from each strategy, and then choose the largest one. So for strategy A, the minimum payoff is 55. For A2, the minimum is 34. A3, the minimum is 16. A4 is -5, and A5 is -2. So from these 5 minimum outcome, we will choose the maximum, which is 55. Yeah, okay, that's the answer for question A. So if we are PT Oi Oi's manager, we will choose strategy A1, because considering if we're using maximum, the outcome is 55. We choose strategy A1. For question B, can we use pure strategy approach for this problem? Is yes, please determine the saddle point. So we have done the maximum from the offense side, that is PT Oi Oi. Now we have to see from the defense side, which is PT Universal. So PT Universal will use minimax. Right, so on minimax, PT Universal choose the maximum payoff of these columns and choose the smallest one. So for R1, the maximum is 130. R2, the maximum is 55. R3, maximum is 64. R4, maximum is 70. And R5, maximum is 79. And from these 5, the minimum is 55 at R2. And thus, because we have the same cell that I highlighted, meaning the maximum and minimax of each player actually is the same cell. So we have our saddle point is at R2A1 with a value of the game equals 55. That's the equilibrium point, the saddle point of this game. That's for problem B. Next, for problem C, if the payoff value from A1 R3 cell is changed, so this one from 60 to 46, will we choose the same strategy? So we have to do it all over again. Right, so from PT Oi Oi's perspective, we choose maximum. So from the minimum, for A2, the minimum is 46, the new value. A2, the minimum is 34, 16, -5, and -2. And then for PT Universal, we choose minimax. So on R1, we choose the maximum is 130, R2 maximum is 55, R3 maximum is 64, R4 70, and R5 79. So this time we don't have a saddle point because there's no cell that is highlighted twice, meaning the minimax and maximum is not in the same cell, not the same outcome. So because of this, we have to eliminate we have to see a dominant strategy. So on this game, we will have to see first from PT Oi Oi. So we compare each strategy. So to not miss anything, I suggest you write it down. So first we compare A1 and A2. A1 and A2, 70 is smaller than 85, but 55 is bigger than 52. So we cannot eliminate from these two comparison. And then for A1 and A3, 17, 130, 50 is bigger than 16, so we cannot eliminate those. A1 compared to A4, 70 is bigger than this one, this is bigger than this one, this is bigger than this one, 70 bigger than this one, 79 bigger than this one. And this time we can actually eliminate A4 because every strategy in A1, the outcome is bigger than A4, so we can eliminate strategy A4. We eliminate here, and then moving on, we compare A1 and A5. 70 bigger than 40, this is bigger, this is smaller, so we cannot eliminate those. I compare those. And then A2 compared to A3, 85 smaller, this one's bigger, so we cannot eliminate those. A2 compared to A5, 85 bigger than 40, 52 bigger than 1, 34 smaller than 49, so we cannot compare those. And then A3 compared to A5, 130 bigger than 40, 16 bigger than 1, 64 bigger than 49, 25. This one's the same, so it's we can say they're equal. So this one's we can actually say this is bigger because when we 25 minus 25 equals to 0, right? So yeah, we can just ignore that. And 22 is bigger than minus 2. So this time we can see that strategy A3 is dominating strategy A5 because every outcome in strategy A5 is smaller, if not the same for 25, smaller than A3, so we can eliminate strategy A5. Alright, that's all for PT Oi's perspective. Now we have to switch side to see the perspective of PT Universal. This time we will compare the columns. So first compare R1 and R2. 70 bigger than 55, 85 bigger than 52, 130 bigger than 16. So every outcome in R1 is bigger than R2. But because we are on the defense side, we will favor the outcome which is smaller. So we eliminate R1. Moving on, we compare R2 and R3. 55 bigger than this, 52 bigger than this, but 16 is smaller than 64, so we cannot. Moving on, R2 compared to R4. 55 is smaller than this one, 52 is bigger than this one, so we cannot compare those two. R2 compared to R5. 55 is smaller than 79, 52 is bigger than 37, so once again we cannot compare those two. And then moving on to R3 compared to R4. 46 compared to 70 is smaller, 34 compared to 40 is smaller, but 64 is bigger than 25, so we cannot compare those. And then R3 compared to R5. 46 is smaller than 79, 34 is smaller than 37, but 64 is bigger than 22, so we cannot compare those. And then R4 compared to R5. 70 is smaller, 40 is bigger, we cannot compare those. That's the perspective of PT Universal. Now we have to change back to perspective of PT Oi. So we switch again. Oops, sorry. Switch. Right, so we have to compare strategy, oops, sorry, A1 and A2, back comparing the rows. So 52 is smaller than 55, 34 is smaller than 46, 40 is smaller than 70, and 37 is smaller than 79. So we can see that every outcome in A1 is dominating every outcome in A2. So we can eliminate A2. And then we compare A1 and A3. 55 is bigger, but 46 is smaller than 64, so we cannot compare those. And after this, we switch again to Beta Universal's perspective. We switch again. Now we try to compare the columns again. So R2 and R3. 55 is bigger than 46, but 16 is smaller than 64, so we cannot compare those. R2 and R4. This 55 is smaller than 70 and 16 is smaller than 25. So we can say that because we want the smaller outcome, R2 is dominating R4 because R4 is always bigger, so we can eliminate R4. And then we compare R2 with R5. 55 is smaller than 79 and 16 is also smaller than 22, and we can say that R5 is always bigger than R2. So once again, R2 is dominating R5 and we can eliminate this. Right, so after all this elimination, we have our result, a 2x2 matrix, which is sorry, I'll change color. So our 2x2 matrix is A1, A3, and R2, R3. 55, 16, 46, 64. Oops, sorry, forgot to hold on a second. This 2x2 matrix, and then next we will have expected gain and loss method. So because we are seeing as PT Oi manager, we expect that Beta Universal will use R2 and R3. So we see the column 55. Oops, sorry. So 55 points P plus 16 times 1 minus P will equal to R3 of 46 P plus 64 1 minus P. So if we calculate this, the probability will be 0.84. So because we assign the value of P to 55 and 46, so the value of P is assigned for A1. So as PT Oi manager, we will use strategy A1 for 84% of the time, and strategy A3 for the remaining 16% of the time. And that's it for problem 1. Problem 2 will be on the next video.